Welcome to the Awesome People podcast or show, I guess. My name is Sean, aka Me Mug, aka Biggie. I decided to kind of make a switch. Now that we're not doing the streaming from Cobra Arcade Bar, with Via and Main One and guests, decided to create a podcast and start um, bringing guests on, talking to them about life and whatnot. It's not going to be only just music. Probably going to be a little bit of everything. Um, I'm saying a lot. That's weird. So yeah, this is the first one, and I couldn't think of another better guest than my boy, my dude, my brother from another mother, Ali Karim, and he's in the green room right now, and I'm waiting on him to come back, and then we'll be able to get started. But yeah, so I decided to do this podcast thing because I feel like there's a lot of people, even DJs, right? So like music, and DJs and producers and stuff like that, they don't get a lot of shine. You don't really get to know their history or where they came from or how they got started. Uh, so I wanted to showcase that and bring that to light and show the audience, or maybe if you're curious about how people got started, and maybe inspire people to get started, or to not be scared to get started on their endeavors or what they want to do. So without further ado, this is, like I said, this is my first time, so it's gonna be it's gonna be a little wonky, but we should be able to get it going. So without further ado, bringing my boy, my brother from another mother, Ali Kareem, aka Flying Saucer Boy, aka Ultra Magnetic Deluxe.
The What's up?
What's up, Ali? How you doing, bro?
Long time no see and hear from.
Yeah, man. Right? Is there an echo? Do I need to turn it down?
Yeah. Echo.
Okay, hold on.
Not
Let
the
me put my
home
headphones on.
echo.
Yo,
Yo.
can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Shit. All right, cool. Yeah, so anyways, my boy Ali. Ali, we go back. We go very back from I don't know how many years, right? Like how many years? How many years you think?
25.
God damn.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
25?
1996.
Damn, that's a long time, bro.
Don't even seem that long, right? From the
Yeah,
church, from the old church on 43rd.
Yeah, so when we first met, we met at a church, right? And it was what was it called? Salvation Army. It was on 43rd Indian School, right? And
Yep.
why were we at church? This is the ultimate question, right?
Oh. We're at church because I was doing community service because I have gotten caught with the slightly significant amount of marijuana. So they gave me the option to do community service for the community.
Right.
And a few fines on top of that. That's initially how we met. But before that, we would see each other on the 43rd Avenue bus going to high school, Alhambra.
True. And I was there as well, doing community service and DJing. actually, I eventually started DJing for community service at the church and DJing like b-boy events and events that they did, young life events and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, that's how, it's technically how we met, right? And then we started hanging out of
Yeah.
church. And so yeah, give me a little history of like where you from and when did you move to Phoenix and if you moved from somewhere else or where'd you originate from?
So I
So I
was
was
born
born
in
in
Tulsa,
Tulsa,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Tulsa.
Uh, uprooted
Uprooted
there and
there and
moved to
moved to
Phoenix
Phoenix
in
in
1984.
1984. Damn. Okay.
Uh, moved
Moved
to
to
South
South
Phoenix,
Phoenix,
Park
Park
South
South
area,
area. That's right. I forgot about that.
and yeah,
Yeah. That's
and
why
then moved over to this side.
I remember when we were younger, we would go promoting, and so throughout the years, right? Like, dude, there's so much shit that I forget, right? Like, I was talking to Shawnee the other day, and he was like, "Yo, I remember this and I remember that," and I'm like, "Yo, dude, I don't even remember that shit." And he was like, "Yo, I remember you were doing this and you had this computer and you had this fucking drum machine." And I used to play with it all the time, and now like I mean now he makes music and shit. So yeah, it's crazy like to remember, but I do remember a time and where we were promoting and we were out posting up posters on the south side, and we were at Park South, and you were like, "Yo, let's go around the corner," and I didn't even know about it, but you were like, "Yo, I used to live right here in these apartments," and you're like, "Yo, let's go around the corner. I want to I want to I want to show you this shit." Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yep,
Yep,
I
I
remember.
remember. What is it?
It was
It was
Farrakhan's
Farrakhan's
house.
house. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
One of his homes.
Homes. Right, and it was like unbelievable because I remember seeing Farrakhan at like I want to say at an event prior to that when we were doing an event at Web Theater, and Farrakhan was there, and a lot of other dudes were there. Some other pimp dudes with like crazy gold chains and rings and shit. But like, I remember I just heard of him before, and then I remember when we were promoting, and you were like, "Yeah, I used to live right here," and I'm like, "Oh shit, I didn't even know that." And then we went around the corner. You're like, "Yeah, go around the corner, go check out this house," and it was like this big ass mansion in the middle of the hood. It's fucking crazy. Yo, big up to Matlocks. I see you in here. Big up to Danny. Um, Matlock said
What
there's an
up, brother
echo. What up, brother
Matlock?
Matlock? He said there's an
Yeah, there's
echo. Yeah,
still an
there's still
echo.
an echo. I wonder what that's from. Um, I wonder if I cut. I can't cut your audio off. Can you turn down your phone? Is it from your phone? Because I can't hear echo on my end. Here, let me see if I
What
can.
about
What about
now?
now? Yeah. Here, let's see. I'll put the echo cancellation on. Let's see if that works.
It's like a
So yeah,
slight delay too.
but it's better. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I don't hear no fucking echo anymore. Cool. So yeah, so give me I remember give me a little history, man. So when you moved up to where we were at, and we lived in Glendale, technically. You lived in Phoenix, I lived in Glendale because it was like 43rd
Yeah,
was
right
the
across the
borderline.
borderline.
Yeah, right across the
Yeah.
street. So yeah, we lived across the street from each other. You lived in Phoenix and I lived in Glendale, technically. And so I remember going to your house. I remember hanging out and walking across the street and going to see you and shit. And I remember like, you know, it was probably maybe like 2, 3 years, 4 years into like, you know, our relationship and like us hanging out and talking and shit. I remember going across the street and I seeing your brother Yusuf, and I was like, "Yo, you, what up? You know what I mean? How you been? Blah blah." Chopping it up, and then out of nowhere, he was like, I was like, yo, where's Ali at? You know, and in those days there was no. Well, do we have cell phones? No, we didn't really have cell phones, right? It was like pagers and fucking. And
Pagers,
I would just go knock
two-way
on your
stuff.
window, right? Everybody would go knock on
Yep.
Ali's
Everybody
window.
knock on my window.
Yeah, so I remember going over there and and knocking on the window and Yusuf coming out. I was like, "Yo, Ali ain't here." I'm like, "Yo, where's he at?" He's like, "Yo, he's in the hospital." And I'm like, "What the fuck? What's that about? Like, what's going on?" Right? And and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, man. He had a problem with his kidney." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, I don't get it." And he's like, "Well, his kidney it failed and it got what was it? His body was rejecting it, right?" And I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know when he's gonna be out." And then I remember
No, that was that was that was when my
it was
kidney
the first
first.
time. I thought it was
Yeah,
that.
that's the first time that.
Are you sure?
No, so it rejected on when I'm living on 35th Ave. So 43rd is when my first kidneys found out my kidneys were like they ceased to stop growing since I was probably 10 or 11, and like
Oh,
I had no idea. Yeah, and so we figured out like I had end stage renal failure, and well, we're about 15, 16, huh?
yeah. I
Yeah,
thought I thought it was
yeah.
when we were like 15 is when it rejected, right?
No, it didn't reject. It just that's
That's
when
when
we
it
found
failed.
out that I had kidney failure. Yeah,
Oh
because I
shit.
never had like issues prior to that.
Huh.
So this is the first time that like it actually we were like uh figured it out because I had like trouble with my eyes. I was like woke up and like, dude, I feel like I'm like seeing underwater. And so
Whoa.
we went to the eye doctor and then the hospital did all the blood work. And I'm like, yeah, your kidneys shut down because they weren't growing. They stopped growing at the age of 10. And all that was due to like a crazy chrome. And yeah, 9 months later, I got my first kidney transplant.
So that was the first transplant.
Yep.
How was that? How was that? Like knowing, like, I mean, we were 15, so like, was it like, yo, what the fuck? Like, am I gonna? Is this it? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, that seems like a very
No, not
harsh
really.
situation.
Nah,
No.
as like kids were fully optimistic and don't like really think about long term things like that. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll get through it. I'll get over it. I wasn't like tripping out or I wasn't like really super crazy about it, but yeah, it was scary, depressing, and like what's gonna happen. It
So when
wasn't
did it?
until later, and
Yeah, when did it? When did it? It get It did when it rejected.
so it rejected when I was 22. I was 22.
Oh shit! Damn, that does seem like a
Yeah.
long time.
So,
Okay, I remember that. Okay, okay, you're right.
yeah.
Now it makes more
And
sense.
so the reason, right. So the reason that first kidney rejected is because, like, again, I wasn't like knowledgeable and I was like pretty lax. And I'm like, I'll feel good. Or let me skip a day. I forgot to take my medicine.
Yeah, I remember that.
So if you keep, forgetting to take your meds, that organ will slowly reject.
So
And so that's what ended up happening.
so between 15 and 22, like how was that? Like, did you have to you went to dialysis and all that shit too, right? Or no, you didn't
Well,
because you had the kidney and you're
no,
taking medicine.
right. But I did, when we first found out, I did go to dialysis for roughly 9 months.
That's
Yeah, my
right.
first dialysis. So like that, I don't know if you can see it, but that right there was the first access that I ever had in my wrist, and
So that
that
was
like
when you're,
sucked. Like,
yeah, that was when you were 15, right?
yeah, yep, 15 sophomore.
So taking, how much medicine did you have to take between like 15 and 22? A lot, because of the, like, to make sure that,
Well, back then, I was taking about 32 pills a day, so you
fuck.
have to take them every 12 hours. So in the morning, I take my 16 pills, and then at night, I take the other 16.
That's crazy.
Versus, today, I take 7 pills
Man, that's not
in the
bad. I
morning,
mean,
7 at
still a
night.
lot.
So, 14 pills a day.
Yeah, still a lot. So I'm thinking, like, when did we start promoting? Like, when we were going out to the clubs and shit like that, when we were like 18, 19, 20?
Yeah, yeah, 18 to 19. That's when we started.
Yeah, so we promoted shit for everything, right? So it was like every label, um, man, it felt like so many records that we promoted, movies. We did a lot of street team work
Right.
and radio work. And Ali was like my dude everywhere I went. Ali was with me. And so, shit, we promoted what record labels? Tommy Boy, Priority Records,
No
Ru-
limit.
No Limit, Ruckus,
Rocket.
Arista, Penalty, Loud, Columbia. Yeah, it was a lot of labels,
Yeah.
a lot of records between.
Every major one.
I mean, what was that? 2000 or 90, 97, 95, 96, 97, 98? What was that? 98,
97, 90, started in 97, 98.
all the way to like what, 2002?
Yeah, because remember, yeah, 2002 actually. Yep.
Huh.
Because remember, I had all those. My whole room was literally ceiling to everything posters, and I always remember that 1998 Pete Rock album
Dude, I regret.
uh, with the big afro.
Yeah, I regret
Dude,
saving
yeah, me too.
all those posters. I don't know what I would do with them right now. Like grown, like you just want nice shit and stuff. But like,
Right.
I don't know. Like I would have just kept them like rolled up, brand new, like in a tube.
I mean, the archival factor alone was like, man, we just had so much shit.
Dude, it was it. But yeah, at the time, it was like, fuck, man, pallets, dude. They would send pallets to my house. Like I lived in a townhouse, and like, man, they would send pallets and pallets of magazines, CDs, DVDs. Actually, not DVDs at the time. It was only VHS. Mad posters,
VHS,
mad posters. Sometimes T-shirts, hats, you know, bags, whatever. But yeah, it was so overwhelming. Sometimes we'd get a shipment in, and my whole house would be just packed. My whole backyard would be packed, full of shit. I remember it.
Like so much stuff.
Yeah, I remember the worst thing was when the UPS guy would come and the gate would be locked, and he would throw
All that
everything
shit
over
be
the
outside.
fucking, yeah, all the shit. He would throw it over the fucking gate, and it was like, I mean, yo, these posters, like a lot of times we would get the flats, right, the big posters, and they were like 40 by 40 or 30 or 22 by 28, right, like big fucking posters. And not only were they like not regular poster, like thin size, they were like cardboard, and so like it would be a pack like
Right.
this, and they were heavy as fuck. They're probably like 60, 50, 60 pounds, right? And they would throw them over the gate, and then they would fold and they would just stack, and so you couldn't even get out the gate, so you had to move them. It was almost like we lived in New York and it was fucking snow outside, so I had to move all that shit like just to get out the back gate to go to the car or whatever. The shit was crazy. A lot of times it was a lot of boxes. It was fucking crazy. But yeah, so
Tons of boxes.
when we promoted, um, we did a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like we one of the main things was going to the clubs, right? And then, hitting the security guard off with some fucking CDs or whatever, some records. Servicing the DJ, servicing the record pools, right? And then hitting the cars. That was the worst shit ever. Is hitting the fucking parking lots and hitting the cars. It was hot.
Damn.
And it sucked. But we had to do it, right? And there was always a fight in the parking lot. There was always some shooting in the parking lot. There was always some danger. You know what I'm saying? There's always some weird shit in the parking lots.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, danger factor.
And then we would go I think the other craziest part was sniping, right? When we would go out and we would fucking post up posters everywhere. Yeah, it was fun. It was kind of like graffiti, but like if we did it just right, like if the cops showed up and they're like, "What the fuck you guys doing?" Most of the time they would just pull up and they'd be like, "Yo, what are you guys doing? What does it look like? We're putting up posters." You know what I mean? Oh, you guys have permission for that? Yes. And that was it. And they walked away or they drove away or whatever, right? But it was always like that factor, like if maybe one of these cops wanted to be a dickhead one night and be like, "Let me see your credentials," or just to fuck with us. And there was a couple times where they really did fuck with us when we were doing some like real shady shit, like putting up like shit on poles, like on traffic lights and freeway overpasses and shit.
Abandoned buildings.
Yeah, we're jumping fences to get to abandoned buildings and shit like that. Yeah, big up to Arlo, big up to Mike Del Prete, Justice from Cutthroat, a lot of other homies. Who? What did you say?
Days.
Oh yeah, big up to Daves, man.
Days.
Mark Daves, Mr. Young. Yeah, he's the one that technically I got into marketing and promotions, the street team shit, through a dude out of Texas. I don't remember his name, but we got started. And my first record I promoted was Pope Pimp, Do or Die. And I remember that like it was nothing because they sent me the
the other day.
Yeah, they sent me a big penny sticker. It was huge, right? I remember I think I had it stuck on like something in my room. And I had it forever. But yeah, so that was the first record, and then I was already kind of like, "Yo, I want to do that. I want to do this." And I had met those dudes, I think, in Vegas when we went out for the magic show. And he was like, "Yo, you want to do promotions in Phoenix for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure. Like, what does that mean? Like, we got this record coming out." Man, I wish that's the biggest thing too is I don't remember anybody's fucking name, bro. Like, it's just a draw blank. Like, I used to call these dudes every fucking week. And like, I'm sure like somebody that worked at the label was like, "Oh, that was blah, blah, blah." You know what I mean? Or that was this person or that person that worked at these labels. The only person I do remember is that Priority, Big B, rest in peace, when he died out here. And that was major. And then Wes got hired after him. And Big Wes, man, he's crazy. Like, Wes is crazy. I still talk to Wes every now and then, and he's a really good dude. He still manages like a lot of artists and whatnot. But yeah, so like I got started with the Pope Pimp Do or Die shit, and then I met Days because he was doing Tommy Boy. And we started doing shit with Days, and he was like, "Yo, I don't have time for all this shit. Like, I want to take on more labels, and I'm trying to like, get married and live a life, you know what I mean?" And so we pretty much would go with Days most of the time, and then he finally bowed out and gave me the company. And then we took on more labels, and that's when I got like Ruckus and a couple of the other labels, and that's when Priority transitioned to like getting like Duck Down on, and then they got No Limit on. Um, I mean, shit, we did everything though. Like it was weird because like we promoted like Snoop Dogg's first albums and the Death Row albums, right, through Priority, but then Snoop got signed to fucking No Limit, and then when he got signed to No Limit, we were promoting for No Limit. So it was like pretty much all the same shit. And then actually Ruckus ended up getting distribution through. At the end, they got distribution through Priority. So we weren't getting any records from New York no more. We were getting them from fucking LA at Priority. So yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy time. And I mean, it was a lot of fun, man. We met a lot of people. We did a lot of cool shit. And we got led into all the clubs for free. And I think that's kind of how we made like a name for ourselves, right? Like out here was the promotion. And like I feel like anytime we went somewhere, like if you weren't there or if I wasn't there, it'd be like, yo, where's Biggie at? Yo, where's Ali at? Like where's Ali at? Where's he at? He ain't here with you? It was all the fucking time. And like, and we went everywhere. We went Mesa, Tempe, West Side, South Side, everywhere. So like we were all over the city. And then I think then I started DJing, or then we started doing events. No, we started doing events before I started DJing again.
Events. Yeah, doing events first. And I was like, dude, you need to start DJing again.
Yeah, so I was like a
And
bedroom
so
DJ.
what did we first end up doing? I moved.
Yeah, so we did Camus first, but I mean I DJed a couple like house parties and like little private events and like little events, but I ended up just stopping because we were doing the promotion shit. But I was collecting records and I still had a lot of records, but I stopped because of like bullshit, like just we were so busy doing other stuff, um, and I was trying to be doing like more promotion, trying to get more accounts. But yeah, then we said, why don't we do an event? Like a lot of people know us. Why don't we start doing like nights and try to make some money? And where was the first place then? It was at Camus then, right?
It was at Camus, yeah. So at Camus, like I knew the owner, Carson. Big up Carson Quinn.
Yeah, big up
Congratulations on your
Carson.
new kid.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
Big
we
up
did
Carson.
that Pink Sunday there. Pink Sundays at Camus.
That was the first event that we did? Was it?
Our own that was, that we organized. Yeah,
Oh shit.
a weekly. Our first weekly. Yeah, weekly.
Yeah, because I think
I
we
mean,
did
we
like
did
some
one-off
special.
events, but
Yeah.
this was the first weekly. Right.
So yeah, what did we do before that? I could have swore we did, or was that after we did the thing a couple things at Coach and Willie's?
That was before, but you know what? No, that was after. That was after Camus,
Okay.
if
Yeah.
I'm not
So
mistaken.
Camus was actually a really cool
Yeah,
vibe.
there were some short-lived events. Some short-lived events at Coach and Willie's. Lasted a
Yeah,
few months.
yeah, like some small shit. Yeah, Camus was dope though. It was dope. That was, I think that was the time that I learned about like I learned about like chill wave music and like Portishead and like
Right. Down
Thievery
tempo. We listened to
Corporation.
down tempo a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't know
Chord.
nothing about that shit. I was like, yo, what is this
Yeah.
shit? It's just like chill hip hop. You know what I mean? Man, we had Uffy there. You
And
remember
you know
that?
what? That's what like. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was crazy. We had Uffy there,
And
and then
that's when Serato came out, right? Serato came out at that time.
yeah, Serato. That's when Serato dropped, and that's when I did I DJ like once or twice there. I want to say I did. Like I just
Yeah.
wanted to. We had a lot of guest DJs. Um, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. No, I
In
don't
the
think I.
beginning. In the beginning. Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Maybe not.
you had to have it at least twice. At least twice.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think the first time I DJed was when we
Well,
started
no,
doing
that was
that.
so. That was.
That one shit on on Central on the south, like kind of south side. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not recall.
It was
On
that little hole in
Central.
the wall spot. It was on
Oh, Ruby Room.
Ruby Room.
Ruby
I think
Room.
that's when I
That's
first
what
started
it's
DJing.
called. Ruby Room. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
because we had Element, and he was like, "Yo, you're gonna play with me," and I was like, "Yo, dude, I'm not playing. I don't DJ no more." And he's like, "Yo, you're gonna fucking play. You're gonna come back out. You're gonna start DJing again." And that's when I started DJing again. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
long time ago.
Yep.
That
That's right.
yeah, that was a minute. And
That
after
was
that,
a
it was
minute
full.
ago.
It was full gusto because I mean, when Serato came out, it was good because I got rid of all my records. Shit, in probably like 2000, and to buy a car and live life, and I sold like I mean, Ali can contest that I had a lot of records. I had like a whole room from the floor to the roof of records.
Shit.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah. Massive. A massive amount.
Yeah, I cried when I sold all my records.
Dude, do you remember? Do you remember when we used to we got that Boost mobile account? We had all those phones.
Yeah, what was it called?
So the job was to give away phones and take a picture of the person we gave the phone to.
It was
Was it
Jump.
Boost?
Jump.
Jump. Jump. There you go.
It was like it was a prepaid, right? Like a Jump, and it was like a little janky ass phone.
Yep. Yeah. So I think they loaded it with like 300 minutes, and after that, you would buy your own minutes.
Dude, that was dope. People used to love them phones though. But it was sucky
Yeah.
'cause we had to like sign them
Yeah. They
off.
used to
And,
hit
like,
me up. You got any phones?
yeah, you got any more of them phones? Yeah, we definitely had some cool shit sometimes. That's for sure. When we were promoting. Uh, so when we are 22, when was that? Like in the midst of all this shit. We didn't start doing Camu till you were like
2001 or two.
22. You were two. It was in 2001 or two.
Yep.
So my memory is fucking hella blurry on the situation, but I remember it happening,
Yeah.
and I remember when you got sick again, and I remember fucking partying
Yeah.
with you.
That was it. 2002.
I remember partying with you all the time, and I'm like, bro, are you supposed to be drinking? Are you supposed to be fucking taking your pills? Are you supposed to be doing any of this shit that we were doing? And you were like, yeah, I'm good, I'm good. And then that shit happened.
Yep. The first rejection. So yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm feeling good. I can do a little this, do a little that. I'll be all right. And it builds up and builds up. You just lose yourself. You lose control and be like, you don't think about the repercussions of a lot of things that you do until it's too late. And that's what happened. And I was in like some deep, painful like regret, and I had to just rethink a lot of things that I was doing, and it's like, damn, I'm gonna have to go back to dialysis. So that was a pretty big blow. But was what was done is what was done. I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot about myself, being in like deep solidarity with myself, and like alone time and in my thoughts, and it was a definitely a hard life's lesson.
Yeah, I remember you needed a lot of time. I
Yeah,
remember it was like one of those things like, yo, you good? And you're like, yeah, I'm not good. I'm at home. I'm staying home. I'm not,
right.
I can't leave. I can't do shit. And it felt like almost like a whole year, maybe a year and a half. right? That you
Yeah, it
just
might have been even a little more than that.
yeah, that you just kind of fucking took a fucking break.
Yeah, I've started like, you know, reading like crazy and just like trying to, you know, find myself, a purpose and, just trying to be a better person.
Huh. I mean, you were always a good dude. You know what I mean? You never did no fucking. You never tried to argue and fight with people and shit like that. So, yeah, I think that when that happened, you definitely changed, and I don't think necessarily for the bad. It was definitely for the good. Um,
Yeah.
and maybe it was because of like all the time alone and just not being able to go hang out and just run amok, right? And fucking just sitting at home and reading books and shit and learning. Um,
Cooking.
yeah, cooking, right? You fucking cook like
Yeah.
all the time. That's your thing every day. Um, so when you had to start doing dialysis, like how rough was that? Like how crazy was that every fucking week?
You know what? At the time, it's like it wasn't. I didn't even think of it as being rough, like at all. It just, I'm a repetitious, and I need structure and like a routine. So it was cool that I had this routine that I did. But looking back on it, I'm like, dude, that shit was you know tremendously tough. But I didn't think of it like that at the time. It was like nothing. Like, cool, get up. Let me get these needles in my arm for 4 hours.
Right. I remember a time. Maybe it was when you're around 30, maybe 10 years in, 12 years in. There was a time where you were like, "Fuck this shit," and
Yeah,
you were like, "Yo, this is crazy." And I really, what's fucked up is the more I think about it, is I remember like maybe dealing with some shit in my life, right, and like being depressed. And I would always go to you, right? I would always go over to your house, like, "Yo, Ali, fucking this is happening, and I'm so fucking mad and depressed, and I'm sad, and I fucking all my emotions would come out." And then you'd be like, "Bro, you know what I gotta deal with every fucking day?" And you would explain to me, you know, the shit that you had to deal with and the people that you had to watch give up and in dialysis and just kind of fucking say, "I'm not dealing with this shit anymore."
yeah,
Um, and you waiting for a transplant. I mean, damn. I mean, it was fucking 20 years, right? 15, 20 years?
18.
18 years for a transplant on a list. And you're like, "Yo, every day I fucking have to get up. I have to go over here. I don't have any energy. I get done. I don't have any energy." And you get to live your life like regular every day. You know what I mean? And it definitely humbled me and put me into my place and made me think a lot of times about me complaining so much and all the shit that you had to go through and all the shit that you had to deal with being there. And if it wasn't just getting fucking stuck with a needle every day, right? And having to
Yeah, I
sit there.
mean, a lot of other things come along with that you don't know or you don't see or you didn't research. To this day, I have like in my feet, my hands, I have this crazy neuropathy, which is like nerve damage from dialysis.
Wow.
And sometimes that shit'll just like flare up. I'll be like, oh shit, what the hell's going on with like my hand or my feet, and the extremities is where it is the most like painful sometimes.
How many vein implants did you have to get?
Um
What is it called again?
fistula
Stipple?
fistula fistula.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fistula. So I got that one, which was removed because it was getting like crazy big, and then that one was like the last one I got. So one, two, three, and then I had about four catheters.
It's fucking crazy. So like
Yeah.
the 18 years that you were doing dialysis, like what was going through your mind? Like in the beginning, you said it was like whatever. In the middle, I remember you having some problems, and you telling me like you were just tired of seeing this shit and tired of doing it.
Yeah, kind of
Even
just like when
even up
I,
towards the end, right?
yeah, it's like a boiling point of like, man, I ain't doing this shit. I'm probably ready to just die and just like say fuck it,
And
you know?
I remember you telling me um that a lot of people do, right? They just give up.
Oh
They,
yeah, like you'll see somebody for a couple months and they'll cut their treatments and just won't see them again. Or some people have literally died next to me in the chair from like whatever pre-existing issue they had, and dialysis elevated that issue. And sometimes their heart just boom went out, or they bled too much, or they weren't eating right, or they drank too much fluids. It's just all kinds of different things where people just like I said, literally passed next to me.
I mean,
Didn't
yeah,
see
like
him the following day.
18 years is half of your fucking life in dialysis, pretty much,
Yeah, I mean, you can say that. Damn near.
right? I didn't even think
Yeah.
about that shit till right now.
Yeah.
Half of your life, bro, in dialysis, and like that's how did that make you? How does that make you feel? Like, how did that make you feel? Like watching people pass away next to you, bro.
Well, it definitely gave a different perspective and appreciation for life, and like your family, your very good friends, and it just makes you like want to sit back and appreciate the small minute things that we normally don't appreciate, like breathing, things we don't think about, and like the freedoms to get up. I want to well take a bike ride, or I want to drive up north, or just small things are like uh let me go cut the damn grass and start a garden. It just like puts a much broader perspective on your life. It makes you like appreciate people more.
Right. I think that if anybody's ever met Ali, right, they know him for being a well mannered, well dressed, dapper, um, and well spoken person, and also really, really fucking cool and down to earth. And I think that maybe that experience of you experiencing that every fucking day of like the real life shit, that a lot of people don't get to experience. They just experience the bullshit every day, right? Just go to work and fucking come home and drink and smoke and do whatever they do, right? And you had to fucking be there all day for 4 or 5 hours a day in a chair, getting your fucking blood transfused out and in, back in, and cleaning it, and sitting around other people that are doing the same exact thing, that are in other, mental states and other physical states and health states, whatever. And I think that that made you a different person. And
Oh, definitely.
yeah, I think it made you a lot different than everybody else. And not in a bad way though, but in a good way. And I think that's why everybody clings to you in a way, like where they just, yo, Ali's my dude, like that's family, like no matter what. Like even if they just met you, like one conversation, they're like, yo, I gotta get his number, we gotta chop it up more, I wanna talk to him more. You know what I mean? And I think that it's always been an inspiration. Like I think maybe like I even took it like a lot of the homies that were close to us, like me, Echo, and like Chris and whoever else. Like I think a lot of us take it for granted. Like where it's like, yo, like we need to hit Ali up more. We need to talk to Ali more. You know what I mean? Where it's like we don't even realize that because we get caught up so much in our own life. You know what I mean? That then when we hear like your name or like when we think about it or we see you or see you on Instagram or something like that, we're just like, oh fuck, man, I gotta hit Ali up. I gotta see how he's doing. You know what I mean? And I feel bad even for recently, man. Like it's been a minute, like I haven't talked to you, and I just been caught up in life, man, and it sucks because like we used to fucking hang out every fucking day, and
Yeah,
sometimes it be like that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes.
Be like that, man. It's definitely be like that. Life. It happens, and it'll consume us.
So I remember. I mean, shit. There's a lot of things, man. Like it's been shit. Like you said, it's been like 25, 30 years. Well, shit, 25 years. Um,
Yeah, 30.
and we've lost a lot of friends and family along the way, and going through shit. And I remember, I want to say when what was that like 5 years ago, 6 years ago was when you kind of gave up and you were like, fuck this, man. Like, I need to find a donor. I need to get this shit. I need to get back to my life. And what a lot of people don't understand, right? Let's rewind it a little bit. So, what a lot of people don't understand is that being on dialysis and doing what you were doing every fucking day, you couldn't work, you couldn't socialize, you couldn't make plans on those days, right? So,
Right.
on those days, it was what Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? That you went.
Yeah. Only Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I know that shit because I know I would never bother Ali on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. um, so he would go early in the morning, go for 4 to 6 hours, sit in a chair, and I mean, I could only imagine getting blood taken for that long of time and getting put back in me, um, and having to deal with that shit. And I've actually been there a couple times to see, like, what it looks like and the people there and how it is and whatnot. And it even freaked me out a little bit because I'm not like squeamish to like blood, but it kind of freaks me out a little bit. And and I
Yeah, the
remember,
environment is just different.
yeah, and I remember like stories you telling me like where fucking blood be squirting everywhere and shit pop off and like people that are getting that shit stuck in all the time, like it gets loose and they just start bleeding all the time and all that shit and it's crazy. But I mean, not being able to work, not being able to do shit afterwards. So after you got out of dialysis, you were too burnt out and too tired to even fucking do anything. And
Right.
you would sleep till like what, like midnight or 11 or 12 at night most of the time.
Between 10, just depends sometimes, between 9 and 9 p.m. and, midnight. And then
Sometimes you wouldn't even get up.
for
You'd
me, I'd
sleep
start my goddamn,
yeah, sometimes you
yeah,
would sleep
sometimes
for the
I'll just
next
sleep
day.
through the next day in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, so after all that, I think you just kind of got burnt what like 5 or 6 years ago, and you're just like, yo, I need to find a fucking a donor. I need to
Right.
figure it out. And at that time, I didn't really realize, and I don't think anybody else did, right? A lot of people that were around you all the time, I didn't think we realized, and it wasn't like a thing that we were thinking about. Like we just knew that you were going to dialysis, and
Right.
we didn't realize how long you've been on a fucking list,
Oh, yeah.
and how long, and how come you haven't got a fucking transplant yet? Because like I'm gonna be 100% honest. I like when we kind of did like a little documentary, right? And when we were trying to find you a donor, you remember that?
Yeah, me, you, and Dad. Yep.
Yeah. So me, you, and Daz, and so at that time we were hanging out a lot, right? You were coming over and shit, and you were getting phone calls, right, from different insurance companies, and these insurance companies were fucking asking you the craziest questions, right? And I remember hearing a couple times the insurance companies, they'd be like, "Well, are you still looking for a donor?" Yes. Okay. How long have you been waiting for a donor? And you would be like, "Well, like 15 years." And they would be like, "What?" They would be surprised. Like, why do you think that it took so fucking long for you to get a donor?
Well, that's the I like contemplated on that for quite a while until I realized that. So when I get my blood drawn, like every month or every quarter for a donor for what they call a donor network.
Yeah.
So I've literally had about 12 potential donors who like match me perfectly. They've been a perfect match. So what happens is, they get my blood in the donor in the petri dish test. So they put both of our bloods together, and every single time, my blood will basically take over that other person's blood. And when that happens, it's not going to be a match because
Wow.
when you put that organ into that person, my body's going to automatically attack that foreign kidney that's in me and have a rejection. So that's the top reason that I had waited so long because literally there's probably 0.009% of the population that would, actually match me, and my body wouldn't take over that other organ.
I mean, half of like okay, so that's crazy, right? Like that it's so rare. It was super rare for you to be able to find somebody that could that would be able to do the don't. And I know a lot of people got tested, right? At that time.
Oh yeah, and all the people that got tested, the same scenario. My blood attacked that other person's blood immediately, even though we're the same blood type.
Wow. I did, yeah, I guess I didn't really realize that part. And I mean, so I remember what was it like 3 or 4 years in? So we did the little documentary or a couple. No, I think we before the documentary. The reason why we decided to do like the little doc, like a little promo to try to get you a donor. Um, we you had told me that I want to say you told me that you're waiting on the list, right? And the list
Mhm.
was getting closer, and you were like, "Yo, I'm next on the list." And then
Right.
they were like, "Okay, you're on the list. You're ready. We just got to find you a person
Number
now."
two or number one or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I was like, "Yo, this is gonna be so dope. I'm so happy for you." Yo, finally, bro, it's fucking 15 years later, you're gonna get it. And what happened?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Why? What the fuck?
Nothing. And it like personally, I think that that number on the list it don't mean shit.
Okay.
I think it's pretty much to keep people hopeful, but it don't matter. Like I was number one for my blood type for for 4 or 5 years, and like I said, every single donor that matched. So I go down to Seventh Street, do that, get my blood work, and they'll call me the next day. Oh, it wasn't a match, even though it's the same blood type. My blood will instantly attack that other person's blood just because my antibodies were like so vigorous and so much that it would just attack the other person's blood. And when that happens, a transplant is like, no, ain't gonna do that because it'll reject. And when I ended up getting the transplant, you know, March 19th, 2019.
2 years ago.
Uh,
2 years now, right?
damn, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, literally 2 years ago.
Wow.
Um, it was just out of the blue. I got a call. Hey, Ali, after dialysis, come on down to Banner. We got a kidney for you. I'm like, yeah, right. I've had this call fucking 30 times I've had this call.
Right.
Do your blood work, come on down. All right, cool. So I get there, do my blood work, get the Banner, and I'm in the room. I'm like, oh shit, this has never happened. They never like put me in a room. And 4 in the morning, they called me up. All right, I'm gonna prep you for surgery. I'm like, just in awe and shock. I'm like, what the? I'm like, no, this ain't gonna work. And it worked. I get prepped up and go into the operating room, and I see like a small kidney on a little metal pole, whatever. And it was like probably half the size of my fist. I got a small fist, so half the size of my fist. I'm thinking
Yeah.
it has to be like a child's kidney, even though it didn't have any blood or anything in it, it was like small. And so they give me the good stuff. I fall asleep,
The good
and
stuff.
I wake up. I wake up. I'm like, oh shit, I got a kidney. This is incredible. I was like beside myself, a couple little crocodile tears, like, oh shit, what am I gonna do next?
Bro,
Like, I had no idea. So,
I remember the text in the morning. I mean, when did you wake up? Or when did you send me that text? It was like 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning.
right, 8 or 9 on the 20th,
So yeah,
March
that morning,
20th, when I'm in my, yeah,
I didn't even know what was happening. I didn't know any of that shit. Like like we
yeah.
didn't
I
talk
didn't tell, I
for
didn't
a
tell
couple
nobody.
days.
Like, I never told nobody. Like, want to get my expectations and other people's expectations up too high.
Yeah, so it was a complete surprise to me, and I remember like just being like no way. Yeah, right, right, because it's been so many like knowing you and just so many like like downfalls, right? Like all this shit. Like every time you said they were gonna, oh, you're next on the list, or oh, you're on this, or you're gonna get it, or we're find somebody.
Right.
All these people getting tested, all this shit, all the shit that was happening, and I remember getting the text from you and like, yo, I got a new kidney. I was like, yo, yeah, right. Like,
Right.
yeah, right. Like I didn't believe it, and I remember when you were like, yeah, for real. Like they gave me a new kidney last night. And I remember being like super emotional, like yo, like that's so dope. I mean, because I know how much it meant to you, and like that you could get back to living your fucking life, and like you didn't live a regular life for half of your life, man. Right? Technically,
Right. Yep.
and I mean, a lot of us couldn't even imagine that shit. You could not even imagine like having to deal with what you had to deal with half of your life of dealing with the people. I mean, but like you said, like when you look back at it now, like what do you think about it now?
I look back and think like, damn, how in the world did I even, was so carefree and nonchalant about it. And it was, to me, it was like normal. But normal is, relative to who we are and what we do in our life and, our daily life. So to me, it was normal. And then I look back, I'm like, oh shit, like I did a tremendous amount of things, on and off analysis. So, I was just only thankful, man. I'm thankful to just be breathing and have, good people around me.
So
It's just,
now,
it's life, man.
Now what do you do? Now you live a regular life?
That somewhat, so as I work over at Trio. I have the Fine Saucer Boys, which is, not just me, you, little Chris and Echo, and little odd jobs here and there. And, I was at Home Depot for, a while. I loved it, but like I said, the damn neuropathy kicked in and just like I was literally on my feet, doing
Paused out, bro. Paused out, bro. Uh oh, we lost him. I think we lost him. Where'd he go? He said it's
for 7, 8 hours, tore my
yo, your connection is fucked up. Starting to lag out. Yo, big up to everybody still watching with us. I see there's like, 3, 4, 5 people on Twitch. Big up to everybody on Instagram, or not on Instagram, but on Facebook, on YouTube, on everything, watching. Appreciate you guys. If you want, show some love in the chat if you're still watching, and we'll post it up. I'll try to get Ali back on. Let me see. Hold up. Let me see if you can disconnect and then reconnect. Let me text him. Yeah, so like I said before, I'm starting this new podcast and I'm gonna interview different people. Not only about music, but about life and about shit that they've had to deal with in their life. And hopefully, you learn a little lesson and get to know people. Yeah, big up to James Perkle, aka Peck. Known that dude for a really long time. I see you watching on Facebook. What's good, my dude? Where the fuck is Ali? He popped back in, but it's just not working. Word. See? Nothing. I don't see him. Yeah, so I mean, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this shit. I think with the channel on Twitch. So if everybody's watching, if you're watching on Facebook, on fucking Periscope, I see Matlock was on Periscope. Danny on Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch, I bought a controller. Um, I bought a controller, and it's crazy. It's not as obviously cool as a real DJ setup with turntables and a mixer. But I think I might play some music and do some other things on here. Hold on, I'm gonna try to refresh real quick and see if Ali pops in. Hold on. Oh shit. Yeah, he's not there. That's weird. Well, I don't know what to do. This thing sucks. Maybe I'll try it another way. I'll try to finish it up. Let me see. Let me see if I could. Hold up. Hold up. Let me see if I can do this without cutting everything off. So I can get them back on. Hold on. I'm gonna disconnect you, Ollie, real quick, and then I'm gonna try to get you back on. Hold on. I am gonna open up Streamlabs and see what happens. See if it'll override this shit. Bear with me. Give me 1 second. Sorry, man. Sorry, everybody. If you're watching, I'm sorry. Hold up. All right, I'm gonna try to go live um on Streamlabs and try to FaceTime them. See how that works. If it works. Hold up. 1 second. Yeah, still not working, Ali. Hold up. He said he could hear me, so hold up. I'm gonna FaceTime him and see if this works. Yo. Hold on. Yo, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try this and see if this works.
Yeah, I tried to reconnect like 3 different times.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is up. It's weird.
Yeah, that sucks.
Shit. Hold on. I'm almost there. I'm gonna have to do this shit real quick. Shit.
What do you want, Caesar?
Is it working? Okay. I think it's working now. Hold on. Let me refresh and make sure. There we go.
All right, I'm gonna log back on then.
No, no, no. I'm on. I'm gonna do it on FaceTime. I'm just gonna
Okay.
keep it on FaceTime. Just stay on FaceTime. Sucks though. It's gonna make it into two different joints. Oh well. Hold on. Let me see if I can get you back in on FaceTime. Um.
Yo,
What happened?
yo.
What happened?
I don't know. It like that. The app came up for some reason. It just popped up.
Okay. Hold on. FaceTime with Ali Karim. Hey, there we go. All right. I think we're good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Let's see. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Fuck. What's happening? What's happening?
Um,
What happened?
what happened? I don't know. That app keeps popping up.
The app that I had you go to?
Yeah.
All right. I killed it right now. Like, I killed the window, so maybe it won't keep popping up. But yeah, anyways.
We back.
Yeah, so anyways, I mean, maybe this is better if we just do it like this. It just sucks
Yeah.
because it's not like split screen. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm trying to make it bigger. Cool. But yeah. So you were saying, where you were working at
Trail, Home Depot, and Slim and Smalls is Conrad Martinez and Ronnie Jackson's auto shop.
That's right. Um,
Yeah.
you're working there for a while too, right?
Yeah. A couple years.
So how does it feel? Like, how did it feel to like work again and actually like?
It felt really good. I was staying busy all day and making a little loot and being productive and having some slight purpose, and it just felt good. It just felt good, man. I'm like, didn't have to worry about dialysis and worry about, like, funds here and there, or, like, paying a few bills. And I had the freedom that I didn't have for quite a while. So it felt good, man. It elevated me, and it was just good, man. I can't even, like, express and explain fully, you know, how it feels not to be, tethered to the dialysis machine and, health.
Right. I think what's crazy to me now that I think now that I think about it, right, is when you were on dialysis, we partied a lot. We fucking partied a lot.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
and
every night you were at the club, right? And like you were partying and we were partying and
yeah, every
yeah, we were doing all kind of shit.
damn near every night.
Yeah, and at least 3 to 4 times a weekend or a week, right? And
Yeah, at the least.
yeah, and now since you've gotten your transplant, you don't go out no more. You don't really go out to the club or anything anymore. So now
I
that you're
mean,
technically able to, right? Like it's like crazy. Like you're like, fuck that, I'm good.
nah, man, shit, 20 years of doing that, it gets monotonous, and we've done that. It ain't. It's time to move on from that, and I don't get any satisfaction or anything out of it, and I mean, why?
Yeah.
We ain't got no use for it if it ain't, if it's not, benefiting us monetarily, then why are we doing it? We ain't got a reason to do it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel too now. Like after having a kid, and like even when I did have my daughter, like in the first like 3 years, I was still like, yo, I still got to get this money. I still got to DJ. It makes good money. Still got to be out. Still got to be doing this shit, hustling, whatever. And now, like in the last 4 years, 5 years, it's been like, yo, I'm good, dude. Like you guys could have that
Yeah,
shit. Like I'm all about trying to do some new shit, make some new money.
right.
It's a lot of years, man. A lot of years in those clubs. A lot of years with the same people every night, every weekend.
Hmm.
New people. You know, we put ourselves in danger damn near every night too. So
Exactly.
you don't really think about that shit. Like we made it through. We still alive. We still here. So tell me about Flying Saucer Boy Click.
So, Flying Saucer Boy click. Um, I've always had a huge affinity with, outer space, uh, aliens and things like that. Sure, we've all had our experiences, but
Right.
for me, it was this crazy dream I had. It was like so real, and actually, Echo came up, with the concept, and me, you, Echo, and little Chris. I'm like, you know what? We're like flying saucer boys, So I wanted to, put something together that a lot of people could relate to, and a lot of people would dig, and so started off. Like I said, Echo came up with with most of the concept, and I've always been into, like you said, like fashion and you know newer ideas in clothing. So I figured, why not? A lot of other people were doing it. It's tough. It's a tough thing to get into. But
Right.
if you, like I said, you believe in something, and why not? Why not go and do it and try it?
So, I mean, obviously, you decided, yeah, I'm gonna make, this fucking this clothing brand, but like, I, I've done a couple designs, right, for you, and then who else?
Right.
Who else has done designs?
Yai, Yai has done a couple of designs for me. Jeremy Arvizo, another dude, named Bodie Jangles. He specializes in doing making ceramic, very abstract, weird ceramic creatures that resemble, some type of extraterrestrial life. So he's done one recently. The homie Dumper, Adam Dumper,
Yeah,
Big Up Dumps.
Dumper did some
Yeah,
dope shit.
he did a few. He did a few for us, and I'm still waiting to get together with our boy Victor to do
Snake's
something
blood.
snake to do something really fresh.
Word.
Yeah.
So when can we expect to be up and running, man?
So you know what? We've already got the things in line, so I want to expect to be up and running on, all the good platforms and everything, seamlessly coalescing with one another, and at least 1 month, or even less than that. Even a little less than that. I'm focused on doing it. I've reached out to you, of course, and a couple more people to help me out and get this off the ground. You know me for a while. I can be a little stubborn head and try and do things on my own, which kind of don't help. But we live, we learn, trial and error. But I'm confident, man. I'm confident in it, and I think it'll be good in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is, and I think that it's definitely going to be uh, some successful situations coming up in the next couple months. I'm going to definitely help you out and try to get shit going. Um, but another thing that was crazy is like, so the idea, right? Um, I've been getting into the whole alien shit a little bit more lately. And I've been watching like a shit ton of stuff. And so to kind of go back real quick, I watched this thing last night and I try to remember it today. And what's the dude from Star Trek? He's on the Priceline commercials. I always forget his name.
Picard,
Yeah, Picard. Is it Picard?
John Luke,
What is it?
John Luke Picard, the captain.
Yeah, well, what's his real name?
Ah, shit.
The Priceline guy.
Yeah,
He has like the crazy voice,
yeah. I forget. I know exactly what you're talking about, though. I can't. I don't remember his government name, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah, so I was watching the show last night. It's on I want to say it's like on Hulu or something, right? And it's it's this shit. It's called what is it called? It's Resurrection or something Recollection or something like that. Um yeah, I don't remember what the hell it's called. But
I know what you're
anyways,
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah,
So they were talking about like the afterlife, right? And like um how people like I watched a couple different things about afterlife shit recently. But this one was about what people see when they die and then they come back, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like what they saw and how they feel and how some people come back with like superpowers or like being able to like heal people and shit like that, right?
Right.
So there was a little segment that was like a couple people that got implants, right? And they could sense the other person in them.
Really.
Yeah. And so like it was like this guy, he got like a I don't know if it was a kidney transplant or something else, but like it was a something transplant. I don't think it was a lung cuz that's like really rare. Um but they got a transplant, maybe it was a heart transplant or something like that. Um from somebody just random, right? They didn't even know who it was, but then out of nowhere they started having like all these visions and like different things, like feeling like that they were another person as well, and like having visions of other people that they'd never met before, and places that they've never been before, and like all this shit. And I was like, "Yo, dude, I wonder if Ali like is having any visions or anything crazy like that, right?" And so yeah, I don't know. Like that's why I was like, "Yo, I literally watched this shit last night." And I was like, "Yo,
Dude, you know what's so incredibly crazy and ironic about that, right? So, once in a while I'll have like these bugged out dreams about, you know, people that like I'm cool with them, I'm talking to them, but like I have no idea who they are.
really?"
And yeah, and another thing is as a kid, how I'm really like into this, been into the flying saucer boy, extraterrestrial, all that, universe, multiverse thing. It's like, dude, I had the craziest dream as a kid that like freaked me out. So, uh, like my mom's in the kitchen cooking, and I'm like, I want to go show her like these sports cards that I just came up on, and I'm probably like 12 or 13 at the time. And so I'm going into the room and I grab the cards and I see this crazy bright light in my window. I'm like, what is that? And so like a beam just like freezes me. I can't do nothing. And so I wake up and I'm just like in my bed, sleep. And I wake up like, oh shit. And I'm sweating like crazy. I'm like, did that happen? What, like, my mom's was in the kitchen cooking food. And the next minute, like, I'm like going into my room and the spaceship comes. And the next thing I know, I'm in my bed and I wake up. And so another dumb crazy, like you can ask like the old school homies, Maurice and Robbie and
Yeah.
I think Nah was with us, and we're on the North Point at the 7th Street at the hotel, and we're up there blazing a blunt, and I was probably about 14, 15 at the time, and we see like this probably about a 24-inch round, like very small spaceship, floating, making this like only thing I can compare it to was like when you watch the Jetsons and they're riding in their space car and it makes that bubble noise.
Yeah.
That's exactly the sound that it made, and we all like literally froze. We froze, and we didn't
What?
say nothing for a good like 30 seconds. Like we were so like this is five of us.
Yeah.
We all had the same experience, and we're like, yo, what was that? What
Damn.
the fuck was that?
It
And
was on
then,
North?
there's a bunch of other experiences that, my mom had and I've had, which kind of solidified me wanting to like look further into like, the worldly beings and things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I haven't ever really had any um, like crazy, like visions or like experiences. I've definitely seen some crazy shit in the sky, and I think that was it. And when I used to live or like stay up with my grandparents up north, they used to like every night we used to go out and like look at the stars and shit, and we definitely seen some shit that was like moving really fast. And at that time, like it was only like there's no jets or nothing crazy, like you know what I mean. And
Right.
so it was definitely some weird shit. Um, hold on, let me see. So I recently watched Close Encounters of a Fifth Kind, right? I recently watched this movie. Have you seen this? This Close Encounters of a Fifth Kind?
No.
Really?
Nah. I'm not hip. Hit me to it.
Yeah, man. So it's the same guy that created the other movie Encounter, I think it is. Can you see that? Oh, that's weird. You can kind of see that. Um, not really. Um, hold on. Yeah, so it's the same guy. He wrote he wrote a couple other movies or directed a couple other movies. His name is Stephen Greer, Doctor
Yeah,
Stephen Greer, right? I'm sure you've heard of him, right?
I've heard of that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So in this one, it's crazy because he talks about um how he meditates, right?
Uh huh.
And they go out and they have an app and they go to like all these places and people from around the world meditate telepathically to aliens, and then the aliens end up um like showing face, bro. They come out, they show up.
No shit.
Yeah, for real. And like, so like it's crazy because like watching this shit, you're like, yeah, right, yeah, fucking right, right. And like they got people in Hawaii and like other places. They have like in Joshua Tree and all around the world, right? So like you get on this app, it costs like $10. I looked it up and it costs like $10. You get on this app and it connects you. It's like a social media app, and it connects you with other people that are down to go meditate, right? You go sit in a
Right.
field or like sit on top of a mountain. You guys all meet up, and you just sit in a circle and meditate, and it gives you like this chant, and they give you like these sounds and the stuff that you have to listen to, and you kind of like meditate on this music or on this sound, and it calls the fucking aliens, right? And the aliens will come and they'll show face, and like they've had crazy experiences, bro. Like where they've had like, lights show up, or like they seen out in the fucking in the into the atmosphere. They seen like some aliens or some like UFOs show up, but then even another one like where an alien actually showed up and was like right there, and they got like a picture of like a weird being in the background. But they were saying like that we need to like think about it differently, because um that the way that the government and everybody has been portraying alien encounters and everything, um that we should be scared, that that they might be violent,
Hostile or
or
some
hostile,
shit.
right? And that we need to like like all these movies and all these things that have always happened, like all these old school movies to new school movies, like Independence Day and like War of the Worlds and stuff like that, where it was like, yo, be scared because these motherfuckers gonna come and blow shit up.
Exactly.
But come to find out, like every alien encounter, what up, Caesar?
Yeah, well, they're whining.
That's all good.
Here's your voice.
Lola's
Say
been
my
whining
name.
too. So every alien encounter that's ever happened, and then at the end of another one that he did, I want to say it's not called. Maybe it's called. Um, shit, I don't know.
Yeah,
It was something
I
before
was trying
that.
to look it up right now on this app, on TV. I'm
It's
gonna find it
If you
though.
look it up on Amazon Prime, it's on there. They have all of his movies on there, but there's this other one that's like, um, fuck. So the new one is The Fifth Kind, the first encounter, but the one before that, I want to say it's called Encounter. Hold on, let me look, dude. I got. Let me make sure. Let's see, Stephen Greer. Let's see, movies by Stephen Greer. Okay, so Unacknowledged is one. It was Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind is a new one. Stephen Greer, Doctor Stephen Greer. Um, I think the other one was the day before disclosure. Steve, man, he has a fucking bunch of movies. Unacknowledged is one. UFO Chronicles, and then there was another one that was really good. Maybe it was Unacknowledged. But yeah, at the end of it is crazy, bro. So they have all this shit, right? Like they have all these stories and recent stories where they saw UFOs, like where like captains and like naval, people, like they seen
Right,
fucking,
airplane pilots and
yeah, the airplane pilots. That was recent since they've been coming out with it. And then they had a story, that was a big story because it was on the New York Times. But then they had another story where all these fucking captains, right, from what were they? Bunkers. They're like nuclear bunkers from
right.
like the 50s and shit, right? And they were all like old now, and they were all talking about how when the aliens showed up, that they were chilling, and oh man, what the fuck? Hold on, call back. Yo.
Yep. So I know what happened. So all the Cox Communications dudes are out here, and there's a an outage for 5 hours today. That's probably why it cut down today. It cut out today. They're doing some
Uh,
kind of internet shit around here.
oh my.
But I'm good. I'm good now. I just turned off my stupid Wi-Fi and just did it from my doing it from my phone.
Yeah, it's frozen on my end. Hold on, let me see here. I'll see. Let me go back to the FaceTime. There we go. And we're back. So yeah, well, it's crazy. It's so like out of nowhere they a fucking a spaceship will show up right to these nuclear sites, and they were all around the world, like in Russia, England, America, all these places, right? And it was like in like a certain amount of time, like a couple of them happened in the same day, and an alien or like a ship would show up, and then different encounters, right? So like one like a fucking red laser shined down and opened up the silo for the missile, like where the nuclear missiles are at, and engaged them and turned them on like to fucking fire mode, right? And then everybody's like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, and they're trying to turn it off. And then out of nowhere, it just boom, turned off, and then they dipped out, right?
You know what's crazy? I think I've actually seen that, dude.
So
I've seen that a while back.
they actually went all the people that this happened to, like all the the seniorities or the captains or the colonels and shit like that were working at those places. They all did like a press conference and came out and said like, "Yo, this is what happened. Like this date, the fucking out of nowhere, we had a report of an unidentified flying object and showed up and all of our shit went to fucking fire mode and then out of nowhere it just went away."
Right.
And like, so I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Like are they telling the truth? Or are they just trying to get, they trying to just get it acknowledged or whatever? But then it all kind of makes sense. So it at the end of that movie, um, there's this shit that I never heard about, and you should definitely watch it. It's fucking crazy. So there's this part at the end of the movie where they go to Africa, right? There's this school in South Africa, and where it's just like a middle school, right? It's a whole bunch of little kids and shit. And so when they go over there, they they find out about this crazy encounter with aliens, right? And I guess these aliens showed up. Um, these aliens showed up, and they pulled up on these little kids. They're all out playing and shit in the middle of the fucking in the middle of the field, hanging out. And they see this ship, and they're like, "What the fuck is that? Oh my god, what is that?" And they're freaking out, and they're trying to understand. What up, DJ Raj? I see you popped in. Anyways, so they pull up on them, and then the kids are like, "Yo, what is that? What is that?" And then in the field next to the playground, they like park, right?
What?
And like the teachers that don't say shit, the teachers are in awe. And so out of nowhere, like all the kids go running up to the spaceship, right? And so like all these kids see it, and like only a certain amount of kids like run up to the spaceship. And they said that they were like 2 feet away from these aliens, right? And they said that they were like in a black jumpsuit. They looked crazy, like, and they only had like two eyes, and they didn't have a nose, and the normal depiction of an alien or whatever.
Right.
But it never talked to them, right? So all of them had the same experience when they got interviewed, right? That they all said that like they didn't talk to it, they didn't say nothing, they just were like real close to it, and they all had the same vision. And then the vision was that we're ruining humanity and our technology is ruining humanity, and that we need to take care of the earth, and that we need to make sure that we don't pollute it and all this other shit. Like, so they had all these visions of like us fucking up the earth, like all these depictions of like different shit, and that we need to be careful or it's gonna be fucked up. You know what I mean? And so it's crazy. So they have all these interviews, and then the kids like draw. They take them all in different rooms, and they draw like what they seen, and it was like all the same. And they all said the same thing, like, but they were in different rooms. They didn't like talk to each other, right? And like
Right.
make up this fictitious story. And they're all little fucking kids. They're like 8 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old, and shit. And so then they like this was like 20 years ago, right? And so now they're all older. So they brought all of them back, and they said like they haven't talked since then, right? It was like this big deal at the time, and everything kind of got like brushed under. Like, yeah, it didn't happen, whatever. And then so they all come back, and even the teachers were like, yeah, that wasn't real. Like teachers are telling them like, yeah, it wasn't real because
Holy shit.
like this fool showed up, and like they tell them like, yeah, yeah, it was a fake thing that we were doing, or whatever. And then so the teachers didn't believe him and all that shit. So they went and interviewed the teacher, and the teacher's like old as fuck now, and she's like, I just want to say I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry because I never believed any of the kids. Like, and they told us to like not talk about it. So like I didn't talk about it, and so I didn't believe it, and I didn't talk about it. So that was it. And so she was like apologetic, about apologizing to these kids and shit. So it was fucking crazy. And then all of them get back together, and they're all talking about like like we didn't realize at the time we were just kids, like what we saw and like what we were seeing and what they were trying to tell us, and like they were just trying to tell us like that we need to be careful, like the shit that we're doing to the earth and the shit that we're doing on earth, and the shit that like the power that we have, like with the nuclear weapons and all the shit, like that we need to be careful. And like
Right.
every single person that's ever had an encounter has like said the same shit. Like even and it happened like in another school, like they didn't interview people, but it happened like in another place at the same time too, like where they had the same exact situation where they met these people, they met the aliens or whatever, and they were close to them, but they never talked to them. They just looked in their eyes, telepathically talked to them,
Well, yeah, I was gonna say telepathically.
and that was it. And so like now that they're talking about that, like they're talking about like all those people that seen like the UFOs that showed up and like turned on the fucking, like all those captains and like big fucking dudes that were in the army and whatever that were at these nuclear bases, like they all uh they all felt the same way, that that's the reason why the UFO showed up. They showed up to fucking to let them know like, yo dude, you guys shouldn't be
Yeah.
playing with this shit. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
guys could fuck,
warning humanity.
yeah, like you guys could fuck some shit up. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. Like those ones really, like out of all the like alien movies and shit, they'll definitely get you fucking thinking. Another one on Amazon Prime was Mummies of Peru, Alien Mummies of Peru, and they got mummies, dude, that like are straight aliens, bro,
Yeah, bro, with the long, elongated heads and everything.
and long
Yep.
ass fingers and shit too.
You have to damn near watch, all of that,
Yeah, I've been definitely getting more into it.
extraterrestrial stuff. And dude, this is interesting. And if you would think, like, if you were any kind of being with any kind of, higher, capability. So would you? It's like, for instance, it's like uh us messing with, bugs or something. Like
Right,
we don't want to, like, we ain't gonna like purposely hurt, you know, a bug.
right. What do you mean?
So if you were an alien, or no, put it like this. So you're you. So you see, these people that live in like Papua New Guinea, and they're like ruining their environment, so to speak.
Right.
You're not gonna go and like cause them no harm. You want to tell them, look, this is what you need to do, to prolong your environment.
Right.
Any being who is like has knowledge to, give to another being, you're not gonna like this ain't like caveman days where you're gonna like conquer someone just because you can.
Yeah.
You're gonna try to help them out. And personally, I think that's what aliens want and trying to do with us humans on Earth,
Yeah, they're just trying to help us out.
trying to help us out. And even though they can't communicate with us, they have a way to communicate with us. They're not gonna be speaking English. They ain't gonna speak our tongue, but they have a way to communicate. And it's only sensible to think it'll be through
Talking
our
to us.
brains, and it won't be verbally.
Yeah, I think that most people like expect them to just like be like, "Hey, what's up?" Yeah,
Right,
I
like
mean,
they is like, no, they ain't gonna speak our language.
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I wonder too, like going back on like the whole transplant thing. Like, I wonder if like that's a thing too. Like, if it's like telepathically, like that you start to have dreams and you start to have visions of the other person. Do you know? Did they tell you like
No,
about
I
the
don't think they would like.
disclose it?
That's out of like that kind of like out of the realm of like medicine. Like I don't think that actually tell you like be careful. You might have some kind of experience with this other person's organ. But I mean, I don't doubt anything. Like nothing's out of the question. You know, reality is way more stranger than fiction.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Any damn thing is possible. Anything is possible.
Yeah, that would be fucking crazy. Like you start having visions and you start like, yo, I gotta go to fucking
Yo,
Boulder, Colorado tomorrow.
dude,
I had this
that yeah,
vision.
some people that would like fucking make them go crazy or something. They might lose
True.
their shit.
Yeah, for real. I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, like, yeah, definitely it'll be some weird shit. Like, I mean, I don't know though. Like, some people say that they like get somebody else's heart, and it's like a lady's husband that died, and then they go back and they're like, I don't know. Like, it's weird. Like they let them like listen to their heart, because it's like their husband's heart in like some other body or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too. Like, you got a deep love for, your mate or wherever. It's kind of basic human sentiment. If you're that close to your loved one or your partner, it might alleviate some of that heartache that you had,
Yeah.
from that person passing.
So, out of all the shit that we've been through, bro, all the shit that you've been through, especially, um, what do you think the lessons have learned, man? Like, what do you think you learned in the progress and the ups and the downs and the curveballs that you've been thrown in your life? What would you tell your future self? Or if you had kids,
Tell
what would you
my
tell them?
future self or children to say, have patience, and have the utmost humility in people. And the biggest thing is like, don't judge, don't judge your fellow man, and um don't force your thinking upon your friends or your family, and to just live, just live good, and give good, you know, give give good advice, and don't have any super high expectations.
Damn.
That's the main thing, man. Like our judging of each other, it makes us hide things that we don't need to hide. It makes us not be truthful and candid in our life. You know, we hold a high expectation as friends and family. Our expectations for each other is high, and that makes us judge that person. You know, so don't judge. Just let people live, give good advice, and just be a good person, man. Have just goodness in your heart.
No doubt.
Those are the main five things that I've learned not to do, and this and to stand by.
Stand by. Stand by for what, Ali?
Stand by it.
Oh,
Stand by
stand
those
by.
five things.
Okay, okay.
So,
Fool. Word. Well, I mean, we definitely talk about a lot. I feel like we still didn't talk about some shit. But I mean, regardless, if you didn't know Ali, yeah. See, look, DJ Raj said, be a down to earth person and help people instead of judging them. Live life to the fullest. It's too short. No doubt. Raj with the
true
knowledge right
that.
there.
True
Yeah, no
that.
doubt. Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's definitely important for everybody just to like, live and love, man. Like live your life and fuck judging everybody and just love. Love life, love your fellow man, your fellow woman, whatever. And they don't have to be your fucking friends. They don't have to be anybody, but just love them until you decide there's a reason not to love them, And like even if it's something that you don't agree with or something that that you don't see eye to eye with, it doesn't mean that you don't need to love them as a person. And I think that's where we lost ourselves recently, like in the last 10, 20 years. Is like it's just gotten crazy. It's nobody cares about anybody anymore, and like even the normal person is just like, yo, I'm stagnant on this whole shit. Like I don't care. I don't care if anything happens. I don't care about anything. And like and people are so aberrant. Like people lose family and friends and people that they know for a long ass time, for dumb shit like politics and something that they believe in or something that they don't agree with, and it's really dumb. Like
Right.
it,
Something they can't control.
yeah, something that they can't control, and like and it's crazy, especially in the last couple of years. Like it's yeah. I mean, believe Raj says I also believe in treating people how they treat you for real. And that's for sure. Like if somebody comes at you fucking sideways, you're gonna come at them sideways. That's for sure. Um, but I mean,
I kind of would disagree with that because you always got a few options. You can come at them crazy like they came at you crazy, or you can reason with them and be like, "Look, man, whatever you're going through, that's cool, man. Whatever you're going through, I'm a love you as a human being. Third, walk the fuck away."
sure. And you know what? You're right. So like, my old self would have been like, I'm a fucking. You come at me sideways, I'm gonna go at you sideways, right? But like, definitely learned recently, even like driving, like fucking road rage and shit, right? Like just driving and like and doing like going about your life. You see somebody shady or they come at you kind of weird or like they cut you off and they want to fuck with you on the road or whatever. You get mad, you get pissed off or whatever. But like I learned this to fall back. You know what I mean? Like, and that's from experience, man. Like so much small shit nowadays can turn into something really, really
Right.
bad. You know what I mean?
Yep. Especially
So
that road rage shit, man. Maybe, you know, someone cuts you off or something, or they do something driving you don't like, it's easier to be like, "I'm sorry, I apologize, that was my fault," instead of, flipping them off or cussing them out, causing a much something something bigger than what it really was. And maybe that person just needed someone to be like, show, a minuscule amount of humility, like saying, "I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't mean to cut you off." You know,
yeah.
it's always options, man. You think it's always options in everything you do in your life.
Yeah, it was crazy. I watched this last night on Twitch. Like there was this guy, um, I forget his name, but he is getting high with. I always forget his name. He just smokes hella weed on this channel and shit. And they were playing there was a fucking police chase in LA last night, and it went on for like 5 hours. And literally, the dude's tires fell off, and he was on rims only, sparks, all this shit, man. It was crazy, and it was just like commentary, like we're watching it live on fucking Twitch, and dude is like smoking, and everybody's like, "Yo, it's gonna end in 10 minutes. It's gonna end in 5 or 10 minutes or whatever." Like everybody was like betting on like when it's gonna end, and it was crazy, bro. Like I guess the dude had a problem, and they said he was mentally challenged a little bit and had a gun and was armed. But like, dude, he got out and like he didn't even want to listen to like when they told him to put his arms up. He kept putting his arms down. I was like, yo, dude, they're gonna blast this dude on the fucking news. Ultimately, they arrested him and it ended peacefully, even though it wasted like 5 hours of everybody's time. But yeah, I don't know. Like you got anything else you want to talk about?
Uh, I wanted to touch on what you was, said, our last question is like, you don't always gotta treat people how they treat you.
Sure,
They might just need a little, I love you, I'm sorry,
for sure.
sometimes the opposite, reaction is like unexpected to somebody and we don't know what no one's going through. Maybe they just need
And,
understanding.
and a lot of times it's like even your own family members, right?
Yeah,
Like even your own
that's like
family
the
members
biggest thing.
and your
The
own like
biggest
close
thing, like
friends.
I said, like your family, your friends have way more higher expectations of you. So it ain't like they they're not, they want you to do good. So they're gonna, push you a little more. And, you know, we can't have these super crazy high expectations of, friends and family that might push them back,
Yeah.
even though we do want everybody to succeed and be well, but like, put that expectation bar down a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to have any regrets. And I think like people always regret that when somebody like passes away or somebody is not around anymore or like leaves the city or leaves the country or whatever. And like I think then the people regret like, oh man, I wish I would have told them like, oh, I loved them and I cared about them and that I didn't mean to be mad at them or fucking whatever. And I've definitely been in those situations and it sucks. And I've learned recently more to express my feelings and to express to my friends and my people that like, I miss you, I want to talk to you, like let's chop it up and like even like, squashing grudges or fucking miscommunications or, little beefs or whatever. Like I'll just be like, yo man, I don't want this beef, bro. Like, or whatever the fuck this is, like it's so minute. We've been friends or we've been family or whatever for a long time. It sucks because some people, even if you have that talk with them, man, they still fucking ignorant. You know what I mean? And like, it is what it is. At least you did your part. You're the bigger man. You know what I mean? Or woman.
Right.
And
Yeah,
fucking
man. I'm gonna leave off, telling everybody the universe don't ever make mistakes. Everything that we doing, everything that we going through is for, you know, things that we can't see or things that we couldn't imagine. So whatever you're doing, just keep doing it and do good. You know, the universe ain't gonna make no mistakes in whatever it does. Everything is, here and meant to be for a specific reason, even if we can't see it.
no doubt. Church, preach,
Tabernacle.
tabernacle. Yo, so if people want to find you on Instagram and check out your new gear, it's what at FSB underscore where?
Yes, sir.
Cool. And then the store should be up soon. If you want to follow Ali, what's your main Instagram?
Oh my God. Spaceship Thiefington Worth.
Spaceship Thievington Worth. How,
Spaceship Thiefington Worth.
how do you spell
Or you
that,
can
bro?
just look up, or you can just look up Ali Kareem.
Okay, you can look up Ali Cream on Instagram and it should come up. Spaceship Thievington Worth. If you could spell that, I give you
You can spell that.
kudos.
I'll give you a nickel.
A nickel. For sure. Well, thank you for being my first guest, bro. I appreciate it. And, I think it was cool. And, I'm going to watch this back and then learn how many times I said, and fucking, and, over and over again. And whatever else I fucked up on. But I mean, I think this way was a little bit better, right? With the FaceTime. It's a little bit more clear and it's a little laggy,
Yeah.
I noticed.
I don't. There's no lag on my end, but it's a lot clearer. I mean, trial and error. You'll get it.
Yeah.
A few times you'll get it, but
I think on the stream it's a
you
little
know.
laggy from the audio. Like your audio comes in like right when we talk, but like
Mhm.
the visual part it definitely lags a little bit. So,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, thank you,
Well,
man.
shoot,
I
man.
appreciate it. I appreciate
Appreciate
you
you
being
having me.
on here, bro. Like, next I should have some other like music guests and stuff like that. We talk about music and life and all that shit too. So, but yeah, thank you for being my first guest, bro. Appreciate you. Nothing but love for you, and I'll talk to you soon.
All good.
All right,
Much
brother.
love, peace, and I will holler.
Later.